Hey, what's going on, guys? So I am just sitting here in a parking lot about, I don't know, a block or so, block and a half away from that building, Navy Federal Credit Union. I am currently in Radcliff, Kentucky, and I just traveled probably, I don't know, an hour or so to get here. And I am not a happy camper, so I figure I have traveled roughly an hour or so, and I figure I'm gonna probably make a video with you guys because it is well, not a long drive back, but it's a little bit of a drive, and I am going to sit here and I'm going to chat with you guys. And I don't film in the car. I do not film in the car. I don't have one of those stands that you put inside the car. So my wife has this little boxing glove that I found in the back of the car. And so right now I have the boxing glove kind of squished up inside the window. Squished up inside the dashboard and the window. So I got my cell phone kind of situated inside the boxing glove. So I'm gonna go for a drive with you guys, and I'm hoping that as I'm talking you guys can still hear me. And you know, this is a first for me, so maybe there's gonna be some editing at some point in the video. Maybe I'll delete some things. I don't think I'm gonna be talking for the full hour or so, but I don't know. Maybe I'll delete this. Maybe it won't be anything I'll post. But here is the situation, guys. Screw you, Navy Federal. Alright, normally I get my checks, right? And I will do e-deposit. I know, why don't I just get electronic, you know, direct deposit? Normally I do, but for whatever reason this company wants to pay you by checks. You guys cool? Alright, this is not situated correctly, so I'm just noticing that this damn glove is not gonna stick in there tight enough. So
turn right after 600 feet onto US 31W North.
Hopefully she sticks well enough for you guys. Alright, let's get back on track, shall we? If that thing shifts again, I probably will not make this video. Alright, where the heck did I leave off?
For 18 miles.
So, when you make e-deposits, you got to endorse your check, you know, right on there. You know, for e-deposit for e-deposit at USAA Federal Savings Bank only, or for e-deposit at Navy Federal Credit Union only, or something like that, right? Now, I didn't realize that USAA only has like a $25,000 per day credit limit. So when I got my last check, I had to, you know, it's a substantial check that I was waiting on. And I'm trying to use this check to pay off my house. So I endorsed the check, put the number on there. It was denied because of the credit limit. Called USAA up. They're like, hey, I got this big check. I need to have the limit up so I can deposit it. They wouldn't do it. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll call Navy Federal, be like, hey, I got this check, can I deposit it with you guys? Same thing, their credit or their deposit limit's a little bit higher, but at the same time, they have a limit as well. They won't budge. They won't go any higher. But they're telling me that, hey, if you go into the physical bank, no worries, just cross out what you wrote on the back of the check. They'll be able to deposit that check for you. All right, cool. The closest Navy Federal Bank to me is in Radcliff, Kentucky, which is roughly an hour or so drive from my house in Louisville. Now, there's a huge difference between doing a mobile deposit, which takes about a minute to do, and having to get up and drive, 40 miles or whatever it is to go to a physical bank. So I tried my damnedest to really have either USAA or Navy Federal deposit my check electronically, but unsuccessful. So got off my behind, made the drive, drove to Radcliff. It was done. I sit down with the ladies. They look at the back of the check. They wouldn't even touch it, man. Oh, because you endorsed it to another bank, you would. Oh, we can't do anything with it. Laziness. Like, I don't even think it had anything to do with the fact that I wrote USA on it. I'm like, look, I'm here. I could easily just put a line right through it. Put my little initials on it. Be like, hey, it's like when you're signing for a house, right? If you have an error or a mess up, put a line through it, put an X through it, whatever, initial, acknowledging that there's an error. You initial and you're good. No, just they didn't want to do their damn job. So I've been banking with Navy Federal since probably 2016, when I first started working with Lockheed Martin for the first time. The company or the bank was recommended to me, and I've always had positive things to say about Navy Federal. In fact, I would probably always say that Navy Federal is probably one of the better banks out there, but not this time, man. Like, the experience today was so freaking poor. I honestly believe that I just want to cut ties with this bank altogether. That's how bad the experience was. I think they just looked at the amount of the check and like, and you would think with the amount, like, they would want to bring in that sort of money, that sort of capital to their bank, because who turns down that type of money? Like, that's stupidity. But you know what? I let them know my disappointment, like, hey man, I drove an hour to get here, like, this place is not close. But I said to argue with them, I'm like, I got up, I walked out. Like, I didn't thank them, I didn't say anything, no, I just got up, walked out. Like, they fucking knew I was pissed. What a waste of a day, what a waste of my time. Gas, mileage, getting there. Infuriating. What also sucks is, roughly a month ago, I had reached out to PHH Mortgage, my lender for my house, right? And requested a payoff quote. So you had 30 days, it was May, so 31 days technically. Yeah, I was supposed to get this check a while back, and it took forever to finally get it in. I finally got it through via FedEx today. And it was disappointing that it took so long, but tomorrow is the month marker, and if I don't get this payoff done by tomorrow, I have to request a new letter, and the amount, obviously, it goes up even higher. So that sucks. Yeah, disappointing. But I'm trying to reach out and see if, like, hey, can we cancel this check, and just like trying to reach out to my company, but like, hey, I don't want this check. I want direct deposit, man. Like, I want everything done electronically. I don't know why they pay me via check. I hate checks. I hate paper. Normally, I don't mind paper copies, right? It's nice to have electronic copies. It's nice to have, you know, hard copies, but like, you could send me a hard copy in the mail for like my records, but like, as far as, you know, having that paper check to use for deposit purposes, no, man, I don't like that. Yeah, and they should have known better as far as this dollar amount, that hey, you wouldn't probably be able to deposit that anyways, or you'd have some kind of issues. But I'm getting there, guys. Shoot, like, some of my big expenditures are coming off the table, coming off the books. A lot of headaches are going to be, a lot of stress and frustration are coming off my shoulders, man. When it finally hits the bank, man, house is gonna be done. Pool should be finished. Talked about the issues with the piping and whatnot, so we gotta basically do a renovation on the bathroom now, because they want to kind of tear out the tub and tiles, and kind of like redo the piping, get rid of the copper pipes, and set up the new tubing for the new pipes. So they want to do that renovation on that as well. I'm also obviously switching out the shelving that's in the garage, getting you know, Closets by Design to come back in, and kind of like the white cabinets that I have in the storage room, as well as the white shelf that I have right there in the front in the garage, and the white shelf that I have in the front of the game room. So getting a few more shelves built in the garage area, so more storage space. Those little racks where I have my eBay sellables stored, I'm probably going to get rid of those racks, and the wooden shelves that I have right now, the idea is either A, I'm probably going to get a sledgehammer and destroy them, break them down. B, see if I can fit them inside the shed, which I think they're kind of too tall, so that may not be possible. But they're big, nice shelves though, man. I don't want to destroy them. I don't want to destroy them, and I don't want to get rid of them. You know, I want to keep them. I want to make use out of them. I was thinking maybe put them like right in the middle of the garage, possibly. Kind of like separate the gym area from like the sellable warehouse portion of the garage, but I don't think that's gonna be possible, because I think the gym part takes up too much of the garage. So if I want to keep those wooden shelves, the only option is to kind of slide them over. So maybe tear down the metal racks, the little metal bins, whatever you want to call them, So the pegboards will basically no longer be in service. It kind of moved the wooden shelves over to the right, near the garage door, sliding doors. What do you call them? And then the new white shelving that Closets by Design is building for me will obviously go in that little corner area and off to the right as it transfers over. Well, you guys will see them when it happens. I'll do a kind of like a garage. Oh damn! A bug just committed suicide on my windshield. I know this phone is kind of curved to the left, but it's the best angle I can possibly get. Otherwise, it's gonna keep falling out of the boxing glove that I have it situated inside of. I said I wanted to get everything done, to have the whole house complete, and I think things are starting to, things are really starting to come together. So it's exciting. Once everything starts being built and everything's finished up. I talked to Jay over at Kayak Pools today. So apparently some of the LED lights they're not going to give you as much lighting as we would like. So he's probably going to throw in another light or two, so we have a little bit more light towards the bottom of the pool. But same issue, guys. We're not going to have installation. So I'm still going to have to try and find somebody that's going to be able to build a pool for us, because I have no idea. I'm not a builder. So I'm going to have no idea how to do that myself. The company that we bought our hot tub from last year, they gave me a number to reach out to. So, oh damn, I'm speeding like crazy. So, I haven't reached out to the pool installer yet, so I'm gonna try and contact him when I have a little bit more information and have a better price of a finished idea of what the overall price is going to be for the pool. One of the things I'm noticing about Radcliff, especially when I was passing through. Now I've come through Radcliff before, obviously when I had to come into Navy Federal in the past. Like looking at Louisville, Louisville is such a beautiful city. Now any major cities, you're gonna have sort of like your slum areas, but Louisville in general is a very beautiful city. But then I kind of pass through Radcliff, and it's I don't want to talk negatively, especially since a lot of people live in this area, but I don't know, it just looks like a very simple small town. But out here, this is Fort Knox. Oh hey, Watson Lane, check that out. Outstanding. I kind of feel like if I had stayed in the Army, long term, more than the 6 years I was in, I probably could have been stationed at Fort Knox at some point. Maybe Fort Campbell. I think I could have. Hot Legs Lounge. You guys see that on the right side?
Turn right after 2 miles.
Let me get over right now. But I think I could have ended up in Kentucky at some point, possibly. But me, I like stability, and I don't know if I ever would have wanted to leave Fort Hood. But then again, I mean, my house in Fort Hood, like I said, I mean, the last few years I was in the Army, I was living in family housing, so I was living on post. So it's not like I had my own personal house that I was living in. It'd be one thing if I had bought my own house and had to move. So I probably would have been open to the idea if, you know, maybe it was like time to like re-enlist or something, and like, hey, you know, you're re-enlisting, like, you know, some people they re-enlist for new MOS. Some people re-enlist to go to a different duty station. Some people re-enlist for a bonus.
Turn right after 3/4 of a mile.
Me, I cared about the money. Like, if I could re-enlist for 5 years and get like $7,500 out of it, you know, I'll take it. My MOS didn't really give much, didn't really pay much. Like, you'd have to be like an 88 Mike, truck driver. Or I think, shoot, man, ammunition specialist, I think they got like good bonuses. I think they probably got like maybe $20,000, $30,000 bonuses. But yeah, the truck drivers, I mean, shoot, they got about $30,000 bonuses. When I first enlisted in the Army at MEPS, man, I remember my first contract, 4 years, I got like $1,000 bonus. I mean, 4 years, I got a $1,000 bonus, and I remember giving that $1,000 to my wife so that she can go buy her wedding dress, and I guess whatever components went with it, you know, tiara or I don't know, veil, whatever. So, dang. I only saw her in that dress one time. She took pictures of her in her dress, but like when we got married, she was on like break from college, so she came to visit me in Killeen, and I took leave for a few days for 5 days, and while she was on spring break, and we got married in the Killeen courthouse. So she got married in like this Superman's windbreaker jacket. So it's not like we actually had like a actual wedding or anything.
Turn next right.
I mean, I dressed up. I mean, it wasn't like a suit or anything, but I mean, I had dress clothes and stuff. She left Chicago to visit me in Killeen. I mean, it's not like, you know, she packed wedding clothes or anything like that, right? I don't know if she like intended to come to Texas to get married, or maybe she did. I mean, I don't remember if that was the discussion or not.
Keep right after 14 miles.
But hey, 20 years later, here we are. Still a royal pain in my ass. Nah, but pain in my ass, but still, that's my baby right there, though. Alright, so these last 12 or so miles, I like this road because I love looking at these trees. When I think of bluegrass state, this right here, this is the image I love to see. Now this is beautiful scenery right here. And if I do post this video, man, this right here is well worth it. This part right here. Yeah, if you're sitting back, drinking, smoking some bud, just chilling, volume on mute, just looking at this is incredible. So today is Thursday. Today I just posted the Legion of Doom Big Rubber Guys video, guys. In that video I mentioned that Saturday's live stream I'm going to showcase my new prototype that I got in from Vody. I hope a lot of you folks tune in for that video because I want to hear some ideas. There's some grudge match 2-packs I want to make. So there's actually a 3-pack I wanted to come out with, but I feel like for 3 LJN rubber figures and 1 single card, that might be way too much. I mean, think about the weight of 2 rubber figures on one carding. That's probably gonna be way too heavy. And I looked at the carding that I got for my most recent LJN. It was a rubber figure, or actually a resin, and it's not like it's Latuni or original San Francisco or something like that with like these big thick hard card backs, right? So it's not store brand carding. It's regular guys making their custom cards and so forth. So it's very thin card backs. So you gotta keep that in mind when you're kind of customizing these card backs and thinking about the weight of the figures. So three figures on one of those card backs isn't gonna be feasible. So this is probably some of the things I'm gonna talk about when we're kind of like branching off on new ideas. So I'm probably going to try and keep it to probably 2 figures per 2-pack. But I've already got my Series 2 idea, and I'm already looking at Series 3. Jason's already come up with a pretty clever idea for the Series 3 grudge match, and oh man, it's freaking awesome. I tell you, man, I had this 2-pack, these action figures set up, this whole advertisement, this whole grudge match feud idea set up like over a year ago, man. This thing was planned. This thing was brilliant. I wish people last year knew what my idea was, what my plan was way back when, and they would have understood why. But people weren't in my head. They didn't understand where I was going with this, where I was going with the feud. But I think once they finally see that Series 3 2-pack, they can kind of look back to last year and think, makes sense. A friend was talking about kind of setting up sort of like this boxing match type of, how like boxers and, wrestlers kind of set up like these promos, right? I'm like, shoot, let's do it. That sounds awesome. Problem is, shoot, I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. And that was very clear. That was one of my issues, is that, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing, and it became more attacking than promo. But I think I'm getting better, I think. And like I said, when we hit Series 3 and we get to that 2-pack, that's going to be fun. But for now, the Series 2 2-pack, oh guys, especially kind of branching off with the new design for me, and then the fighting pose, you know, especially with my collaborator. So excited. I was talking to Wrestling Rider yesterday, and you know, he kind of mentioned, because I kind of spoke to him. I'm like, look, I don't think people are interested in getting custom figures of me personally, but the figure itself as a soldier, kind of like, you know, like a Corporal Kirchner type, they may not be interested in me as an LJN, but people are interested in, like, you know, soldiers that they could kind of classify as like their own, you know, sort of like Gagne Raiders type, kind of put him with like Corporal Kirchner, make it like that sort of, you know, Federation type of wrestlers. And I'm like, you know what, that would work too. So maybe I would be a marketable character for any fan or any collector that might be interested in picking those up. And I think if I ever did try to actually sell those figures, I don't think I would try to sell them as, like, you know, for profit. Like if I get with Sin Bodhi, I'm like, hey, I got 5 guys interested in buying this, and I would just basically say, hey, this is what Sin Bodhi charges, and, you know, let them know, hey, I got 5 people interested, and just buy the 5 figures based on his prices, and that would be it. You know, Sin Bodhi, the customizer, he makes his sales, and the guys that are interested get the figures that they want. It's just a, you know, it's just a fun concept and idea for me. Like I said, it was just something fun for my personal collection. But if anyone, like, was really interested and they really wanted one for the personal collection, you know, who am I to say no, you can't have it? Because it's fun, you know. That's why I've always said it's great to make these videos and kind of collaborate and meet folks and talk to folks about these things. 4 years ago, I didn't know about this stuff. I didn't have any interest in this stuff, but it's become like one of my great passions, right? So that's pretty much what's going on with that set. But so myself, a couple YouTube collaborators. I'm trying to get Sin Bodhi. I've already spoken to him. I want to get one of his. I want him to.
After 2 miles.
I want him to get his own. I want him to make his own personal action figure of himself. So I wanted to get him on one of my 3-packs, but like I said, I don't think that's going to be possible. I think that's going to be too much weight. And what I've been doing is kind of like buying the figures for both myself and my collaborator. That way, you know, they're kind of doing me a favor by collaborating with me. You know, I get to use their image and you know, that way they're not having to pay for their own figures, so that helps, you know. I don't want them to feel like obligated. You know, when you approach someone with an idea,
turn right at exit 15, then turn left immediately.
You don't want them to, you know, feel like, you know, they have to come out of pocket or something. So in the future, if they like what they see and, you know, they want to keep going, you know, that's a different story in the future, right? But for now, at least let's see how the first prototypes turn out and kind of go from there. I've been kind of talking to some folks, man, kind of branching out to see like what it would cost to kind of create molds. And
take the next exit on the right, then turn left immediately.
I mean, they're mentioning like some molds would cost like $5,000 or $6,000, and you'd have to like order like 500 figures from the factory. And I'm like, man, I'm not trying to get like 500 figures made of myself.
Turn next left.
Where the heck am I? I don't want to recognize where I'm located.
Turn left after 3/4 of a mile.
You know, I've been in this damn state for almost 8 years, and that's what sucks about being a damn house rat. You don't know the freaking area where you live. Is this Smyrna?
Turn left after 1/4 of a mile.
I forgot what I was talking about. Oh no, this is okay.
Turn left after 1,000 feet onto Feckenbush Lane.
You guys get to see how Louisville is broken down. When we pull into like my neighborhood, and this was always like kind of confusing when I first moved here, because like the way that was kind of explained to me when I first moved to Louisville. So Louisville metropolitan, right? The way that the city used to be broken down, like used to have like all these little sub cities. Like when you pull into my neighborhood, it says City of Spring Mill. So you can literally write on your letter, you know, Spring Mill, Kentucky, and you know the packages, letters will still make it to your house. Or you can write on your package Louisville, Kentucky. It'll make it to your house. It doesn't matter. So you have like all of these neighborhoods that might be like, you know, Spring Mill, Kentucky, etc. So they're like all of these little small cities were annexed into the larger Louisville metropolitan area. So, and I'm like,
next left.
okay,
then make the next left turn.
but it's not a city though. It's like I said, it's a freaking neighborhood. It is literally just a neighborhood. What the heck are they doing over there?
Turn next left.
I am not turning left. How do I cancel my route? yeah, this street right here, outer loop, make a left. Basically, you go down this street, outer loop here, and that's like the major street. Everything down that way, you can basically find everything
Turn
down that
left after 1/2 mile.
down that street. So we live in like a very good location. Yeah, so I was talking to him out at Latuni, and he's like, you know, molds of action figures are about $5 to $6 grand.
Turn left after 1/4 mile.
And the factories require that you buy like 500 figures. I'm like, that's a little bit out of my price range. I just need like, you know, maybe 3 or 4 figures, you know. You know, one for my personal collection, maybe one that, you know, I'm gonna give to,
turn left after 800
you know, my
feet
collaborators.
onto Peppermill
So
Lane.
like if I'm collaborating with like Bone Breaking, or if I'm collaborating with the New 80s, you know, I'll have my figure for them
Turn
that
next
that's gonna be part of their 2-pack or something. Maybe I'll have like an additional figure or 2 on hand. Maybe I'll repaint.
You will arrive at your destination
with like
on
a
the
new color
left-hand
scheme
side
or
after
something.
1/4 mile.
Like, I don't want to pay $1,000 for a mold or whatever amount, because like I don't like the same mold over and over again, right? Like I want to get a new figure, new pose with each new series release, right? So that's why you kind of got to go the custom route. And Sid Bodie, man, he's able to like 3D print this stuff. You send him a face picture and you'll let him know his specifications, like, you know, what fighting pose you want, you know, what colors and designs, stuff like that. So
You will arrive at your destination on the left-hand side after 500 feet.
I don't know if you guys saw when I first drove in, but that sign out front that said City of Spring Mill, I didn't point it out. That was my fault. Well, guys, it has been an hour or so. You know, thank you for
You have
tuning in
reached your
with me.
destination on the left-hand side.
And I am home. So, yeah, let's park downhill. Alrighty. And I am going to actually take this out right here. Kind of show you that. Actually, 40 minutes. Actually made it back in pretty good time. Actually, I'm going to show you guys. Yeah, so like back in like January 23, they had to excavate this part of the driveway because that flood, and they had to rip out the piping that was down there, and they built this thing in. I'm not really sure what that even does, but I guess that's to get the piping down there. But these little blue flags, there and there, and that pool is supposed to expand like all the way down there, right? So that's supposed to be the length of the swimming pool. But you see how the pool goes on this downward slant. And of course, you know, these are where the 2 trees used to be before we got them cut down. But they're trying to say that there is a sewer system that runs below the ground. Well, I don't know, because the only sewer system that I am aware of, when we walk around the house over here, yeah, we got this thing over here. So, maybe. Ooh, filthy. That's actually the first time I've actually seen anything come out of that. But yeah, that's pretty. I can get out here and mow the grass again. Got my hot tub. Well, that is it for now. And I gotta go make some calls. See what we can do. Guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will probably get this posted, Friday. That way I'll have another video for this week. Thanks, everybody.